All right, what's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. A book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, Create Space. Link will be in the description box below as usual. Go get it. PayPal link there also. They asked me to put it up, so I'll put it up. Thanks everyone for supporting. But this video is entitled Give Black Boys Their Childhood Back. There's a Brevity article a couple of months back, but T. Hassan Johnson posted it on Facebook. I wound up sharing it, right? So this is basically the article here, right? I don't feel like doing all the other stuff. So here's the thing. We have a tendency in the community to take these kids' childhood from them. And what I mean by that is, your son's cute for a certain amount of time. It's cute to society for a certain amount of time. And then everybody turns on him. You need to be a grown man once you hit a certain age. You need to take these grown responsibilities on once you hit a certain age. Because on one end we talk about, boys being coddled. But on the other end, we don't talk about, boys being pressured to be the man of the house when they should be the child of the house, right? And part of this back and forth is you put a boy in a situation where, you talk to him and treat him as if he's a man, but he's a child, so he is not capable of shaping and molding the world as he sees fit because he doesn't have the adult intellect. He doesn't have adult skills. He doesn't have adult how can I say this, networks, and he doesn't have an adult body. So now you got these kids feeling inadequate because they're kids trying to be mad that they're not grown yet. And you're not allowing them to just be kids. So it's causing extra depression, right? When you have these kids who have this complex, I need to get my family out the hood. No, your family needs to get the family out the hood, not you. It don't work like it doesn't work that way. Like I talked a long time ago about, when I was growing up in Chicago. You know how many kids, were out here selling dope to quote unquote help the family come up, to pay the bills in the house, to keep the lights on, to bring groceries home, to buy school clothes, to pay for their other siblings' expenses, whether they be just daily expenses or they had big expenses like medical bills and whatnot. This made you suicidal, angry, homicidal, and suicidal. And I'm not speaking from a point where I don't know what I'm talking about because when I was younger I had those issues. I didn't like one. How can I say this? I love the hood, but I didn't like my neighborhood. I didn't want to live there for the rest of my life. And at the same time, you when you're a young boy, you taking on society because it attacks you from multiple fronts. Everything. I was, teachers had an issue with me, coaches had an issue with me, police had an issue with me. And it was all good just a week ago, right? And I saw, I didn't really have an issue with gangs. I actually was a neutron. So anybody who knows Chicago gangs, neutron means you're neutral. You're not in a gang. But everybody else I knew was in every gang you can think of. I had friends in them gangs. Everything you could think of a person probably did, I got friends that done that. Got friends in high and low places, right? But just that depression of trying to drag yourself and your whole family out of poverty murders your childhood. And you got to get these kids their childhood back. And these kids can't, you couldn't play. You don't see kids playing outside as much anymore anyways, but, kids being gamers is one thing. This is why there's so many grown men who are addicted to video games. They didn't actually get a chance to be addicted to video games when they were young. They have, we have these arrested development moments or these childlike moments with grown men, and people giving them the side eye. Well, it's because they didn't have one. You make fun of people like Michael Jackson back in the day because he'd tell you a million times he didn't have a childhood. So, Neverland was creepy to you because you got to do all the childhood things that were normal for your childhood. These brothers not getting that. The other thing, even the article talked about, because it talked about more than it talked about boys and girls, but one of the other things is over-sexualizing these kids. The kids. Give them their childhood back. They shouldn't be turning you on. Like every week you see one of these teachers molesting these young boys, but it doesn't look at as child molesting because they're female teachers and black boys. It looked like it's basically some type of twisted movie scene, right? You can only be a pedophile if you are Kelly Robert. You can't be a pedophile if you Rebecca Kelly. So leads to problems, right? And how can I say this? I'm trying to say it gently, but I don't know how to do that. But because you over-sexualizing these kids, they don't have time to have regular childhoods to the point where, I remember as a kid, people was having sex at ages, it's like, when I look back on it, I'm like, wow, kids was turned out. And some of y'all fake family members out here touching these kids, and then they go to school and they hypersexual, and nobody can say why. They just calling these little girls sluts and whatnot, or they just calling these little boys perverts. But you're not saying what's happening to them when they at home. See, that part you want to just act like everything's washed in the blood of Jesus. Ain't cool. Because once again, you got to get these kids their childhood back. Part of the hate came from that also, because some of the anger wasn't just, dad's not in the house, broken family, we poor. Some of the anger was, some kids hated other kids because they were actually allowed to be kids. I used to go over a friend's house back in the day, and they had toys, and I didn't. Like, God, you know what? You my homie, but I ought to beat your, you got a Nintendo. Oh, great. Now I got to come over here and enjoy the spoils of your childhood because I can't have any. So you become a hater, But with more technology and more social media, you got these other problems. And the other thing, I got to go back a little bit. Stop making the boys act like girls and the girls act like boys. They're not old enough for that. You can't have these kids at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, and they're worried about their sexuality. Nah, that's not a lot of that. Some of you are pressing that on y'all kids, and then y'all acting like it just happened overnight when it didn't. Y'all run around here like Charlize, was it Charlize Theron running around with the boy in the dress in public at 4, 5, 6 years old, and then just one day wake up, I don't know why my son wants to put on makeup. You're a lie. You know exactly why. You've been grooming this kid to be something for your own little twisted benefit. You robbing their childhood. And then, last but not least, y'all don't want these kids to enjoy being kids. Like, they can't play sports because you're too lazy to take them. Or you don't want them to participate. They can't, have friends because you don't want to deal with the fact that they'll have friends, or their friends' families might have sleepovers. So you got to go kick it and be with kids and be with people your age and your peers, but now you want to be so quote unquote overprotective that your kid can't have friends. You know, they can't have a normal birthday, but you can have a normal birthday. They can't have a normal Christmas, but you had a normal Christmas. See, you robbing these kids of the childhood that you had yourself, and you think it's cool. It's not cool. You know, and then, like I said about society, like, are they gonna view? You know, it's already statistically and scientifically proven that our boys are looked at as older than they are and bigger than they are, and you know, a 12-year-old, oh, he had to be 27. Nah, no, you just saw a kid and you figured since it was a black kid, you can get away with murder. You know, look at all the cases. Remember the white cops that crushed the kid's testicles? She knew it was a kid. She didn't care. It was a black kid, a black boy. Nobody's supposed to care about that, especially destroying his testicles and hoping that he can never have kids. She went home with a smile on her twisted little devilish face. You know, same thing, you know, when you think back to Tamir Rice. Oh, he looked older. No, he didn't. You know, same thing with not Jordan Crawford. Jordan Crawford was in a Walmart. The other brother had died when he was in his friend's car at the gas station and a white dude drove off. He's in jail now. Jordan Davis. You know, oh, they listening to music. They're a threat to the world because I don't like rap. Like, that's stupid. You know, and then when you look around and you compare it to other groups can enjoy their childhood for the most part. You know, that was the thing about the doggone swimmer in Brazil, 31 years old, kicking up dust in a foreign country, and they're like, "Oh, he's just a boy having fun." No, you're not a 31-year-old boy. You're a grown man acting an idiot in public. But these other groups, you know, they're boys when it's convenient and they're men when it's convenient. But we're still in our boys' childhoods because they're grown men when we really don't want them to be children anymore. It has nothing to do with them being children or not. It has something to do with how we're socializing them, that you're the group that don't get to be a child. And I'm going to end this by saying this. A few years back, I was like with my son and his cousin. Took him to breakfast at a Denny's. And the waitress is there and they're kids. So they order their pancakes and, you know, whatever. And then there's like, we want chocolate milk. So the waitress was like, why the milk gotta be chocolate? Why it gotta be this, that? Now there's a Hispanic lady, and I was like, and I looked at the lady, I said, listen, let them be kids. They gonna have to deal with that because they didn't get it, but I got what she was doing. And I'm like, you gonna let them be kids. They didn't come here for you to racialize their breakfast. And the lady was like, I'm like, because, you know, I'm not going to go out and meet some Hispanic kids and racialize them eating, you know, oh, I got to be like that. Like, no. You know, people have the audacity to think it's okay to rob these boys of their childhood. That's funny to a lot of y'all. It's not funny to me, but, you know, at the same time, if a person like you meet a person like me and you do that in front of me and I confront you, I'm the bad guy because, once again, you know, that's the group that's supposed to not be able to have a childhood. And it's okay to hate on a black boy having a black childhood. So, you know, I'm done. We out. Peace.